Welcome back, you guys. We are on day 4 of a 5-day master bedroom renovation project that I decided to do when my husband was out of town. Okay, so the first 3 days were dedicated to me painting this room when I honestly thought it would take maybe 1 day. So we are wildly behind schedule. To make matters even better for us, there is an epic storm that is projected to be coming while I'm trying to get this project done. They were calling for a historic, catastrophic rainfall and flooding. So I'm trying to decide is it worth it to continue in my bedroom, or should I switch and do like emergency preparedness kind of stuff? And then another amazing blessing on top of all of that nonsense is I am slowly coming to the realization that my bedroom is not as big as it is in my imagination. I have way too many things that I want to put in here for the actual space that I have. And the only way to really tether me to reality is with tangible evidence. So I had to get out the tape measure to really prove to myself that things are not just going to fit somewhere because I whim it to as hard as I can. I actually have to get things to fit in conjunction with physics. So I'm trying to see if I can move my bed around, if I could orient it differently. And then I'm also thinking maybe I should put it on the opposite wall. And that's actually a very compelling idea to me multiple times throughout this process. And each time I have to remember that if I have my headboard on the opposing side, if I'm laying down in bed and I look to my left and my door's open, I can look straight out to my front door. And if somebody was standing on my front porch looking in, they'd be able to see me laying in bed. And that is absolutely horrifying. Hard pass. No, thank you. That's like a scene from a horror movie. And it's just not on my vision board of 2024 to be murdered. So we have to stick with the bed being over here. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do, we're going to assemble a chair. Part of my vision for my room is to be able to do more YouTube-y things in here. I want to have a cute place like a not backsplash, that's not what they're called, but a backdrop, yes, for when I do lives or anything like that. And so I also wanted a chair to be able to sit in, and I bought this one. And one of my cute, most precious traits is I don't check the measurements for anything. And this chair is obviously enormous. So I need to see with it assembled if it can tuck next to my bed, or I need to see it with the 20,000 piece bookshelf that we have to build next. We just have to see if things fit. So now my goal is to assemble the furniture, bring everything that's supposed to be in the room back in the room, and see if things even fit. Another fun little thing I'm dealing with here is it's hideous. This room looks really ugly. It's bad, right? I'm trying to tell myself it's the bed sheet next to the wall that's making the wall look like such a not great color. I was so in love with the color before I put the bed back together in here. And it could also be the bed. The bed looks old and the colors do not complement, and it's just making everything look really bleak. And the room is dark. And so I'm not trusting the process. I don't have faith anymore in my ability to do this. I just feel like maybe I've made a lot of different mistakes. And I am absolutely certain that this mood, this opinion, all of that has nothing to do with the fact that I am probably PMSing super aggressively and I'm having way too many hormonal emotions. To come, also a hormonal migraine is on its way. So we're not coming at this from the most positive way. We are seriously doubting our capabilities, our life choices, whether or not that hot flash is menopause, just so many different things are coming together. And I am fighting this chair. I cannot get the stinking back to bolt on to the bottom. You guys are sped up 500%, and it is still taking me a friggin' eternity to try to get these stinking bolts to go in. Like, it fought me so hard, and it was a really great tone to set out the day of assembling furniture. I think kind of jiggling it like that made it to where I could get the bolts in and I'm able to move on to the next step. I also think I may have been like, if you die, you die kind of situation. And I got it on good enough for me. And now we just have to get this bottom thing on. It's kind of a tilty chair, so I needed to put on this little base plate thing, and then we can put the feet on it. And it's going a lot faster now. These bolts are going in like butter, and I am hauling butt, and I am doing amazing things. And I did manage to tighten these to where the chair is a chair and not a death trap. So I'm glad I cycled back through it to see how it was gonna go. And that just pops right on. And then I realized that I had purchased tiny little furniture pads for my dining room table, but I wanted to use them on this chair as well, since I'm going to still be sliding furniture around my room quite a bit, trying to figure things out. A little disappointed. That's really squashy and weird, but I still have to get the Ottoman done, so we can't just dwell on life.
No, sir. Out. Come here. Come here, my David. Come here, Mr. David. Okay. Good boy. Yeah, you got that stuck on your face. Come on.
Okay, so Leroy had been sniffling around in all of that garbage, and he got tape stuck on his little face, and I did not want him to start panicking, so I had to go pull it off. Okay, so I'm putting together the Ottoman, is that what that's called? The footrest. And I realized that on the plate of it, on the bottom, it had a front very clearly in bright white marked. It's like this part's the front. And so it showed me which way it was supposed to lean. I'm very grateful that it said that, because now when I'm sitting, it dips to the front. Like, look at how much, it doesn't lean back. It collapses frontward. And so I think maybe I just didn't screw it in enough, but that's not right. That's a mess. So I'm trying to like tighten it and see if I can get it to fix. And it is just not a good chair. It's terrible and I hate it. I do loop back later. You don't see it. I do loop back later. And I had put the bottom part facing the wrong way, and it too said front, but only in black on black, so I couldn't see it. But from assembling the footrest, I was like, okay, maybe there was a way it was supposed to be positioned. It was. This chair is really comfortable, and I am kind of in love with it now, so it works perfectly if you can read the black on black writing that tells you which way things are supposed to be oriented. Okay. Now for this monstrosity. It's a corner bookshelf. I wanted to get it tucked into one of my corners, and I was still going for that deeper dark wood and black metal vibe. I have this exact theme of bookshelves and different tables and things like that running through my entire house, and I'm still kind of in love with it. Whenever I am assembling furniture, especially when it seems like it's going to be a massive project like this, I really want to go through and separate everything. And I like to group like with like. But in this one, there's very few pieces that are labeled the same. Everything's kind of an individual. And so it took me a little bit to realize I still have to pile mostly like with mostly like, otherwise I'm going to run out of space. There's no way I can do a 1-for-1 out here. I think these Let me see where I set them. Okay, nope, not those. These are the ones that are the most that have like with like. And all of these boards are marked differently as well.
An image from a dream kept me up all night. The feeling is surreal, stuck inside my mind. Your body in my arms, under moonlit skies. We're trying to count this.
Okay, perfection. So I'm also proud of myself. Usually what I would want to do is just kind of throw everything back into the box, slap the lid back on, and shove it into my entryway and ignore it. But here I'm actually needing the space and trying to tidy as I go because I know I have so much more to do that having an enormous mess is not going to really help me. But man, that styrofoam, it went freaking everywhere and it was so staticky. It's sticking to the walls, to my clothes, to the items that I pulled out. There was a lot of styrofoam for a very long time in my house. You can see it stuck on the wall back there too. All right, so speeding you up 2,000% because this takes me hours upon hours to do. And what's tricky is the instructions are wildly unclear, like they usually are. And so you have to really investigate and then just make educated guesses on how you think things should be situated. Huge nightmare. I'm also super pleased because my pants that I'm wearing, they have pockets and I keep filling my pockets filled with bolts and everything like that, and that cracks me up. I got like little handy pockets, like a kangaroo, but different. Okay, so it is so dark in my room. My overhead light is not bright enough and I could not see the holes that the screws were supposed to go into, so I had to get my handy dandy ring light out to shine some light. And I'm starting to get really sad that the room is so dark.
On the run from my given disaster, speed away from the holy mind, pride. That's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving along the road to end. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving.
Okay, here I'm starting to doubt how wobbly this construction is. Look at this little side thing. It's leaning like crazy. It feels like none of this is going to be structurally sound. But it does have like such a nice corner that it tucks right in. I love that. Okay, hold on. The catastrophe is impending. There's doom on our way. Just wait, guys. Okay, so we get this bolted in and we're like really towards the end of it. I think I had to stop and charge my phone and like get something to eat, but we're really close to the end of it. Just a few more like shelving units. And I know I need to connect something up there in the top. And I swear I looked at the instructions. I looked at the instructions so many times to make sure I did it correctly. alas, I realize that two of the parts that I put on so long ago are facing the wrong direction. And there are so many things that I have to take off to fix it. Like, I am just devastated. My head hurts so much, and I am just feeling heartbroken about what I did to my room. This dungeon is not what I expected. Not even a little bit. Like, it's depressing. It's overwhelmingly dark. My head hurts. I'm scared about the storm. I want my stupid husband back. Like, I just don't want to backtrack so far and reassemble. But I had to. Like, you just have to. Ugh. But at least I have a really good idea of where the other pieces go because I already put them on one time. So reassembly does not take as long as first assembly. And now I'm pretty sure after that one. Nope, after that one. You know what? I'm not even going to say I'm pretty sure. And yep, okay, so now I just really shelves going back in. And those were a lot easier to put in than the bars. And the lights go out. Like, we lose power to a storm. And I call my husband and I confess everything. I tell him what I did. I tell him how it's not going to come together by the time he's home. And I'm like, I know you know that I'm doing our bedroom. And he's like, no, I had no idea. And I was like, I painted the whole thing and it's so dark and there's no way I'm going to get anything on the walls and the furniture's not coming together. And I'm just crying. And he's like, okay, well, I can assemble the furniture when I get home. And I was like, no, you have to hang 50,000 things on the walls when you get home and there's a storm. And so I had to he's like, okay, well, why don't you just be sad for a little while? So I sat for a little while and I got up and I knew I had to finish this part. The outside of my house, my furniture, my dresser, my nightstands are in my room. My dresser's out there. A bunch of different things are in the living room and it just looks like chaos threw up. So I wanted to get this part done. And so after I had a nice little fit, as we all do, I had a little tantrum like a toddler and rested. And I came back and I was in a whole different mood, different vibes going on. Also, it took pressure off of me because now I know that I have my husband to come hang the pictures and I don't have to present him with a final project. I never did. It was a self-inflicted, if you will, issue that I created for myself. But now I have the relief where I can just be like, okay, babe, it is what it is. Come home. We'll get ready for the storm and then we'll fix our room when we have time. Here I am just trying to get the stinking styrofoam off. It was so clingy. But I wanted to get it off before I tried sweeping and mopping. Man, it was really on there. But fully assembled, it's adorable. It's really, really cute. I love the little details that the metal has. I love how it looks shoved in the corner. I left some of the stickers on. I'm not sure why I left the stickers on, but I guess in case I had to reassemble it, I really wanted to not have to guess. Look at that giant chunk came off. Okay. Getting it off the walls. We're getting closer. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm covered in the styrofoam.
toxic. Somehow you're fine with it, even when I'm chaotic. You see the shade in the cold, it's just my bad temper. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, so I am scraping up little droplets of paint that fell on my floor and dried. It comes up so easy. There's no way I would like mask and put stuff down on my floor since I have hardwood floors before I painted, because as soon as it dries, you just pick it off and it is perfection. Okay, so I put it in the corner and I decide, okay, I want to get every big thing in the room. So we fetch the dresser, which is on sliders, and we're going to put that back and see how that wall looks. And quite frankly, there's not really any other layout that I could come up with. I guess, toying with the idea of moving that dresser into my closet. I genuinely don't think it would fit, but I just didn't know how it was going to go. Okay, and we're still having pretty big feelings about the ugliness of it all. It just doesn't look good. Oh, and I spent 3 days painting, 3 days to deeply resent your decision. That sucked. Okay, so we're finished with the day. I change into my husband's clothes and I text him a picture of it. I just wanted to be cuddled, and that was the option that I had. So swapped into those bad boys and went to bed. I needed to put a pin in the rest of this day. Okay, so coming in, it's really dark, it's really dark, but this is offset from the center. That's my vacuum. Okay, and then this chair, there's so much more space that's supposed to be over here, like 3 more feet, but there's not. Okay, so this chair, there's my nightstand, then my window. Sorry, I'm gonna zoom out a tiny bit so you can get, okay, so, and then we have this wall. This is my new bookshelf unit. I feel like, okay. Yep, that's my new bookshelf unit. And then you come here to my thing. All right, and then it's like right there on for this.